everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a soulful transformation, how to turn thrifted furniture into elegant farmhouse decor using warm, cozy color schemes. If you love budget-friendly makeovers, rustic textures, and seasonal style, this episode is made just for you. Warm color schemes, like terracotta, cream, rust, and honey gold, instantly add a sense of coziness and elegance. These tones make thrifted pieces feel more intentional and upscale, especially when paired with farmhouse textures like linen, distressed wood, and vintage metals. We'll show you how to create harmony using these tones throughout your space. Start your journey at the thrift store. Keep an eye out for solid wood furniture, vintage picture frames, baskets, old mirrors, and ceramic vases. Even if they look worn or outdated, you can breathe new life into them. Remember, the farmhouse aesthetic embraces imperfections. It's about character and story. Before diving in, create a warm farmhouse mood board. Include tones like amber, mustard, warm whites, and soft browns. Add texture ideas like burlap, plaid, or cotton. Planning helps keep your vision consistent, especially when combining multiple repurposed items. Once you've got your pieces, clean them thoroughly. For wood items, use a mild cleaner and sand lightly if needed. Metal items can be polished or painted. This prepping step ensures your paint or finish sticks well and lasts long, giving your thrifted finds a fresh, polished look. For wood furniture, chalk paint or milk paint is ideal for that soft, matte farmhouse texture. Opt for neutral warm tones like beige, clay, or sage green. You can even distress the edges with sandpaper for added vintage charm. Don't forget to seal the paint for durability. every item needs to be painted. Sometimes, the beauty lies in its raw form. Woven baskets, rattan trays, or natural wooden stools look stunning against a warm backdrop. These organic textures add balance to painted elements and keep the space feeling grounded and inviting. Let's look at one example, an old thrifted dresser. By painting it a creamy warm white and swapping out the knobs for bronze or antique brass pulls, it becomes an elegant farmhouse centerpiece. Style the top with a linen runner, a few books, and a thrifted ceramic vase. Thrift stores are gold mines for old picture frames. Paint them in various warm tones, matte black, antique gold, or chalky white. Fill them with vintage botanical prints or pressed flowers. Arrange them as a gallery wall over your sofa or entryway for a personalized farmhouse touch. Lighting is everything. Switch out harsh white bulbs for warm-toned LEDs or Edison bulbs. Add cozy lamps with fabric shades or even DIY lanterns from old jars. Warm lighting enhances your color scheme and makes the room feel welcoming, especially in the evening. Use throw pillows, blankets, and rugs to introduce warm hues and tactile comfort. Look for gingham, plaid, or floral prints in earthy colors. Mixing textures like cotton, linen, and faux fur gives your farmhouse decor depth and richness without feeling cluttered. Even your kitchen can join the makeover. Repurpose old crates for open shelving. Paint ceramic pitchers or use old mason jars for utensil holders. Warm wood cutting boards, copper pans, and baskets of fruit on the counter can turn your kitchen into a cozy farmhouse haven. Floating shelves are perfect for styling. Combine old books, candles, tiny framed art, and natural elements like pine cones or dried florals. Keep everything within your warm color palette and use odd numbers when styling groups. It's a subtle trick that makes your display more visually appealing. Create an inviting entry with a repurposed bench or small console table. Add a mirror, a wicker basket for shoes, and a warm throw blanket. Hang some wall hooks from an old wood plank. This space should set the tone for the rest of your cozy farmhouse home. Use old chairs mismatched on purpose and paint them in cohesive warm tones. A large rustic table runner, vintage plates, and a wooden bowl centerpiece can transform your dining room. Don't worry about perfection. Farmhouse style is about comfort and authenticity. Turn your bedroom into a retreat by using a soft, warm color palette on bedding and curtains. Use old shutters as a DIY headboard or place a trunk at the foot of your bed. Style the nightstands with thrifted lamps and a stack of books in earthy tones. Rotate simple seasonal elements, like dried wheat in fall, eucalyptus in winter, or sunflowers in summer. You don't need to redecorate fully each season. Use warm neutral pieces as a base, and layer on small seasonal accents to stay current without losing your farmhouse theme. Here's a quick breakdown. Each thrifted furniture piece cost under $30, paint supplies under $40, and decor items like textiles or accessories were found for just a few dollars each. Elegant farmhouse doesn't mean expensive. With a little time and creativity, you can achieve this look on a small budget. Let's take a moment to admire the transformation. From thrift store cast-offs to a cohesive, elegant farmhouse space full of warmth and charm. It's amazing what color, texture, and thoughtful styling can do. Every item tells a story, and your home becomes a beautiful reflection of you. Thanks for joining me today. I hope this video inspired you to explore the world of elegant farmhouse decor using warm color schemes. Don't be afraid to reuse, repaint, and repurpose. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more seasonal home decorating tips. See you in the next video.